This video will demonstrate how to reward the dog with toys rather than rewarding them with food. I like to have multiple toys that I can use within a training session. So I've got two different types of balls here, and then I've got one in my treat pouch over here. I like toys that are a decent enough size that I don't think my dog is going to swallow them, but I can also fit them in a pocket so that I'm not trying to carry a whole bunch of things at once. So what I'll do, for example, I have a whole bunch of toys ready with me. I'll ask my dog for a behavior. Joe, sit. Yes, good boy. And then I'll throw a toy on the ground for him to play with. I might kick it around a little bit to make it more interesting for him. Good boy. And so the idea when you are rewarding a dog with toys rather than food is your timing is still going to be the same in terms of when the dog does the correct thing, you say yes, and then you give them the reward. The main difference is going to be that if you're using a toy reward, you want to be able to get it back from the dog relatively easily. So if I give my dog a toy, I want to be able to get it back from him without having to chase him down or having to rip it out of his mouth. So you can go back and watch the trade videos where it talks about trade versus give. So you can use either one of those in this situation. You may need to use trade for a little while until the dog starts to get the hang of it. Give, remember we usually talk about give is I give my dog something, give. Yes, good boy. He spits it out, and then I give it right back to him. So his reward for spitting that toy out is that he gets it back. So I'll ask him to do another behavior. Down. Yes, good boy. So he did it, and then I will toss a ball for him. Go ahead, go get it. Good boy. You may need to try a couple different types of toys to find what your dog finds interesting and exciting. Joe is not overly thrilled with these toys right now. I typically don't use toys with him with training as often because he likes toys, but he doesn't have a huge drive for them. So I don't find them to be very effective for my dog. The dog that you are training, you may find them to be much more effective. You can also ask the dog for multiple behaviors and then reward them with the toy. So we could do puppy push-ups. Sit. Down. Sit. Stand. Yeah, good boy. Get that. Get that. Good boy. And I can cheer my dog on, and I can pet him to make the toy more interesting because I'm interacting with him with the toy. That always makes things more exciting. And then when it's time for me to get it back, he doesn't seem to want to give this one up as much. You saw him just duck his head away from me. Joe, come here. Give. Yeah, good boy. So I'm going to give him a treat because he gave me that ball. What a very good boy. And so this works with whatever skill you're trying to work on. So if we're working on heel, so we'll show a little heel pivot. Heel. Come on. Yeah, good boy. And then he gets the ball. So go get it. Go get it. Get that ball. Get that ball. So whatever skill it is that I'm working on, it's the same thing if I was training with a food reward. Give. Yes. Where I would ask the dog for the skill. As soon as they perform it, I say yes, and then I give them that toy reward. One of the skills that we use to help dogs learn new things is luring, which if I have a treat, it's when I show my dog that I have a treat, and then my dog just follows that treat into the position that I want him to be in. So I could do a sit, I could do down, go back up to sit. He's following that treat. That's called a lure. I can do that with a toy. Again, it needs to be a pretty exciting toy so that my dog wants to follow it. So I have a ball. I'm going to add some excitement to the ball. If your dog is already really excited about a toy, you don't have to do this part. You don't have to make the toy more interesting. I'm trying to add excitement for my dog because he doesn't get as excited about toys as he does food. So we're going to see if I can lure him into a down position using this toy. So I'm going to show him that I've got it. Hand down to the ground. Yes, good boy. And he followed me into a down using that toy as a lure. Get it. Whoop. Get it. And so that would be an example of using the toy as a lure to get the dog to do the thing that you want. It does make things a little bit trickier, in my opinion. If you can find a treat that the dog will work for, I think that makes things go a little bit quicker and a little bit more easily because it tends to be a cleaner delivery in terms of getting the dog the reward for doing the correct thing. But that's not necessarily going to be the case for every dog. And if you have a dog that really just doesn't seem to want to eat food, then using toys as a reward is a legitimate way to train with the dog as well.